Okay, in this lesson, we're going to be looking at more part editing. Um, but what we're going to be doing in this lesson is SolidWorks allows us the capability to take a model that's already been done, and we can basically reverse engineer it, look at the steps that have been taken to create that part, look at the sketches, look at the features, and we can see the order that it's been done in and get an idea of how it was built and what their design intent was for the part. So go ahead and open the part. It's called Editing Design Changes, and we'll get started. And so if we look at page 321 in the book, it lists up at the top the changes that they want us to do from the original. And it kind of explains how we're going to run into some problems along the way. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this module called Part Reviewer to basically review how the parts were created feature by feature. So this is basically what we're starting with, is this model here, and this is what we're going to end up with the changes. All right, so to get to the part reviewer, we're going to go into evaluate, and we're going to go over here to the right side up in this taskbar, and it's right here, part reviewer. It's going to open a dialog bar here on the right side of the screen. All right, so we've got these play commands here, and I'm going to click this one because I want to show sketch details, so I want to highlight that. And then I'm going to click this double arrow to jump to the beginning. And you can see that it brought this down to the base plate, and it brought the roll back bar all the way up to there, so it grayed all these features out. And now I can take this and let me just reduce this a little bit. And if I step through it now with the forward arrow, so you can see that it on the left side, it's sketch 1. I think I can zoom in. There we go. And I'll step up again, and there's the solid plate with the base plate with the radius in the corner. I'll go again. There's the vertical plate. And in this vertical plate down in this section here, it's got a note. And we don't have to do this, but if we have questions as we're designing a part, we can make notes and attribute them to certain features. And here it says, remember to double check the thickness of this feature. And the way I can add that is if I come over here and click on, I should be able to hover, or there we go, right click, and I can add a comment to any of those features. And this is where one of the places that it will show up. And like on this vertical plate that we know has a note, if I come down here to comment, it gives me the option to either edit the comment or delete the comment. I can also come up here and I can click on this little pencil thing, and I can also put a date and a timestamp. I can cancel, I can delete it. So I can delete that comment there if I need to. Again, sometimes I leave myself notes as I'm designing a part. Most of the time I do not. All right, let's click ahead again. And there's the sketch for that vertical plate. If we come up here, we've used this once before, this display delete relations. This displays all the relations to, or constraints to, that sketch. And if we look down here under entities, it gives us the status of this tangent 5 and what's tangent, arc 2 and this line 7. And so as I click on each one of these, you'll see that entities down below changes. And what that does is it gives us the ability to look at each one and see what is related, what relation is related to what line. And it really gives us an insight on how this particular sketch was created. So let's click OK here. Okay, so we're going to step ahead again. And now it shows up this circular plane, which is used to sketch the circular boss. And so I can come over here and look that this circular plane is a child relationship from this base plate. So it depends on that base plate. And then the circular boss, you can see that it's tied to that circular plane. And remember, these relationship arrows is we can come up here and we can right click, and we can either hover, and we can either activate this dynamic reference visualization for the parent and the child if we need to. So if we step ahead again, now we've got the circular boss. I can bring this around, and you can see that. So this circular boss was extruded on that circular plane outwards. I can unclick this if I don't want to see the sketch details. We'll just leave it highlighted. And next we'll step ahead again, and we'll see that rib. One more time, I must have missed it. And then this rib comes underneath that. And again, it really just depends on what you need to see in the drawing or the part model. Let's go get a top view of this. You can see the dimensions for that rib and the location. So we're going to step ahead again. And I'm going to turn this off for right now. So let me step back one and then forward. And you can see some of those sketch details now are hidden, like the dimensions. So if we turn this thing around, it's on wall thickness. You can see this is where it was shelled out, where it's highlighted here. Shelled out here as well. Step ahead again. And now we've got that counter bore. All right, so then if we step ahead again, we see the pattern one, a pattern that counter bore, or that hole. Step ahead again, put this around. There's the fillet, the rib fillet. And so each one, as we step through this, each one of these is highlighted, and we can see the order and location of each feature. And then last, this circular fillet. All right, we're going to end this video here, and save this. We're going to continue with the next video.